Hi, good afternoon. Today I wanted to take a moment to talk about Memorial Day. I know, as a parent, I firmly believe that one of our many responsibilities is to teach our kids a healthy respect for those who have gone before us. And that includes Memorial Day. And after living overseas for a few years, to be honest, I kind of feel like I have failed my kids in this aspect. And so I set out to fix that today. Now, the military has always been, kind of near and dear to my heart. My grandfather served on a sub during World War II. Like many of you, I served in the military for over 13 years. That's where I met and married my awesome husband, who is still on active duty. My kids have been raised as Air Force kids. My oldest, who's now 10, has already lived in 4 different households in 3 different states and 2 different countries. So the military is just kind of something that's been ingrained in our family. But unfortunately, when it comes to Memorial Day, I've always known that, kind of general terms what it was for, but I never really got into the details. And that's what I wanted to get into today so that I could share it with my family. And hopefully, maybe this will save you a little bit of time and help you better talk to your kids as well about Memorial Day. So, Memorial Day it's actually a fairly recent federal holiday. It didn't start or it didn't become a national holiday until 1971, but its roots go way back to the Civil War. So, in the Civil War, after the Civil War, kind of as the story goes, there's many different variations of how, when the first official Memorial Day actually was. But there's one story of in 1866, there were a bunch of women from Mississippi who went to the location of the Battle of Shiloh. And they went there just to tend to the graves of the fallen soldiers. And when they got there, they noticed that the soldiers of the graves of the Confederate soldiers were well maintained, had flowers, looked really nice. On the other hand, the graves of the Union soldiers had been largely neglected, and they set out to fix that. Now, about 2 years later is when we officially got what was then called Decoration Day, which honestly I feel like almost is a better name for the day because it kind of reminds us a little bit better about what we're supposed to be doing. But anyway, so in 1868, May 30th was the date that was chosen specifically because it did not line up with any specific battle. Decoration Day, as it was then called, was meant to honor all fallen American soldiers. And so they wanted a date that was fairly neutral, and so that's why they chose May 30th. Now, about that time, there was a General John Logan, who set out to really support this idea of Decoration Day. And this is what he said, and I'm going to read it to you so that I don't get it wrong because it's so beautiful. He gave an order which stated simply that his posts were to decorate the graves of fallen soldiers with the choicest flowers of springtime, and he urged that we should guard their graves with sacred vigilance. Let pleasant paths invite the coming and going of reverent visitors and fond mourners. Let no neglect, no ravages of time testify to the present or to the coming generations that we have forgotten as a people the cost of a free and undivided republic. I thought that was just a really beautiful way to put in perspective Memorial Day, or as it was then called, Decoration Day. And I know, this was just a little bit of history for me to talk to my kids about this evening and this coming weekend. And as we go into Memorial Day on Monday, of just kind of going back to what General Logan envisioned when he first set out with the day, which is truly to honor the graves, to honor the fallen soldiers by honoring and tending to their graves. I hope this has been helpful for you. I'm not a history person, but just a mom trying to make sure that I instill a good reverence in my kids for those who have gone before us. Thanks so much for joining in, and have a blessed day. Take care.